It was a quiet Saturday afternoon, and dark clouds covered the sky. A gentle rain began to fall as Tom looked out the window of his bedroom. He had planned to play soccer in the park, but the weather had changed his plans. Instead of feeling disappointed, Tom smiled because he suddenly remembered a place he had always wanted to visit, the old library at the end of Maple Street. Tom loved reading books. Every book was like a new adventure waiting to begin. After putting on his raincoat and picking up an umbrella, he said goodbye to his parents and walked through the rainy streets. Raindrops danced on the sidewalks, and colorful umbrellas moved slowly past him. After a short walk, Tom arrived at the library. The building was much older than the others nearby. Tall stone walls, large wooden doors, and beautiful stained glass windows gave it a magical feeling. Above the entrance was a sign that simply read, Maple Street Library. As Tom stepped inside, the smell of old books filled the air. The room was warm and quiet. Thousands of books lined tall wooden shelves that reached almost to the ceiling. A friendly librarian smiled warmly. "Welcome," she said. "Take your time. Every book has a story waiting for you." Tom thanked her and began walking through the long rows of books. He found books about animals, history, science, space, and adventures. Every shelf seemed more interesting than the last. As he explored deeper into the library, he noticed something unusual. Behind one of the tallest bookshelves, a small golden key rested on the floor. Tom looked around. No one seemed to notice it. Curious, he picked up the key. It was old, heavy, and beautifully decorated with tiny stars carved into the metal. "What does this key open?" Tom whispered. At the end of the bookshelf, he noticed an old wooden door that blended perfectly with the wall. He had never seen it before. The key fit perfectly into the lock. Click! The door slowly opened. Behind it was a narrow staircase leading underground. Tom hesitated for a moment. Then curiosity won. He carefully walked down the stairs. At the bottom, he discovered a hidden room unlike anything he had ever imagined. The room was filled with glowing books. Soft golden lights floated through the air like tiny stars. The shelves stretched in every direction. Some books sparkled with blue light. Others glowed green, red, or purple. Everything felt peaceful and magical. In the center of the room stood an elderly librarian wearing a long blue coat. He smiled kindly. "I've been expecting you." Tom looked surprised. "Me?" The old librarian nodded. "Only those who truly love reading can find this room." Tom looked around in amazement. "What is this place?" "This," the librarian replied, "is the library of endless stories." He explained that every magical book inside contained a living adventure. When someone opened a book, they didn't simply read the story. They became part of it. Tom's eyes grew wide with excitement. The librarian handed him a small blue book decorated with silver stars. "Would you like a try?" Tom nodded eagerly. He opened the first page. Suddenly, a warm breeze filled the room. The pages began to glow. The library slowly disappeared. When the light faded, Tom found himself standing inside a beautiful forest. Tall trees surrounded him. Birds sang above. Friendly rabbits hopped through the grass. A colorful butterfly landed gently on his shoulder. Everything looked alive. Tom walked along a peaceful path until he reached a small village. The villagers welcomed him with smiles. They asked if he would help repair a wooden bridge damaged during a storm. Tom happily agreed. Together they carried wood, hammered nails, and rebuilt the bridge. When the work was finished, everyone celebrated. The village children thanked Tom for helping them. Suddenly, the glowing book appeared again. Its pages turned by themselves. In an instant, Tom returned to the secret library. The old librarian smiled. "What did you learn?" Tom thought for a moment. "Helping others makes everyone happier." The librarian nodded. "Exactly." Next, Tom opened a green book. This time he arrived beside a beautiful ocean. He joined a group of sailors searching for a hidden island. Along the journey, they faced strong winds and rough waves. At first, Tom felt afraid, but he remembered to stay calm. Working together, the sailors safely reached the island. The adventure taught him that teamwork makes difficult challenges easier. Again, the glowing book carried him back to the secret library. Finally, the librarian handed Tom a small golden book. "This one contains your final lesson." Tom carefully opened it. He found himself standing inside a peaceful school library. Children from many different countries sat together reading books. Although they spoke different languages, they all smiled while sharing stories. Tom realized that books connect people from all over the world. Stories can teach kindness, courage, friendship, and hope. No matter where someone comes from, everyone enjoys a good story. Moments later, Tom returned to the magical library one last time. The old librarian smiled proudly. "You've learned the greatest secret." Tom looked curious. "What secret?" The librarian gently picked up an old book. "Books don't just teach us about the world. They help us become better people." Tom smiled. He understood. Before leaving, the librarian gave him a beautiful bookmark shaped like a golden feather. "This will remind you that every book holds a new adventure." Tom thanked him sincerely. As he climbed the stairs, he looked back one final time. The secret room slowly disappeared behind the wooden door. When he returned to the main library, everything looked completely normal. The hidden door had vanished. The librarian at the front desk smiled. "Did you find what you were looking for?" Tom smiled. "I found much more." As he walked home through the gentle rain, he held the golden feather bookmark carefully. He wasn't sure if the magical library had been real, but one thing was certain. Every time he opened a book, a new adventure was waiting. And that was the greatest magic of all.